So one of the most common questions that we get is, what is the boat like? And today we're going to walk you through one of the boats that we recently sailed with in Naples, Italy. Will you say the name of the boat?
The name of the
The
boat?
model?
It's a Leopard 4500.
Okay, so if you want to see a tour of the Leopard 4500, we definitely recommend you watching this one on YouTube. We'll put a link to the YouTube channel in the show notes. But if you just want to hear it because, you're strapped hanging on a subway in New York or commuting or wherever you are, and that's more convenient, great. We'll do our best to describe it for you. But before we get into the boat tour, we're going to talk just a little bit about what it's like to live aboard one of these boats. So that's what you can expect in this episode.
Welcome to the What Could Go Right podcast. We are your hosts, Erik, Orton.
And I'm Emily Orton.
And here we talk about personal growth and sailing. In 2014, we moved aboard a fixer-upper sailboat and bootstrapped a year sailing with our 5 kids, and it changed our lives forever.
We tell the whole story in our memoir, our book, 7 at Sea. On this podcast, we want to help you go from fear to freedom, one adventure at a time.
So today we're going to take you on a tour of a Leopard 4500. It's, as Emily mentioned, that's the boat that we sailed most recently in Naples, Italy. Before we dive into that walkthrough, again, we would encourage you to watch it on YouTube if you can, just so you can see what I'm talking about. But before we do that, we're going to just answer a couple of general questions about boats and maybe how to get the most out of being on a boat.
I want to ask this question first. Like, what surprised you most the first time you stepped onto a boat like this? A boat like the ones that we take people out on when we charter and sail around the world on these different adventures. I want you to go first, and then I know I have an answer as well.
Okay, great. So when we lived on the boat as a family, we lived on a Lagoon 380, which is a 38-foot catamaran, 4 cabins, 2 heads.
That means bathroom.
Bathroom. And it was the smallest boat out there that we came across with a family on it. Mm-hmm. And we were the biggest family that we came across. So the biggest family on the smallest boat. So the thing, whenever I when I started taking these larger charter boats out, the thing that I was most pleasantly surprised by, was how spacious they are and how just clean they are. Ours was a fixer-upper, and these boats are very new, no more than a few years old, and they have a lot of amenities that make it comfortable and easy to sail, and air conditioning, power winches, so things work with the push of a button instead of having to muscle hand crank everything. And it's just got new instruments. Anyway, just the newness of it and the niceness of it and the spaciousness of it.
Awesome. That was my same answer too. The next question is, what do people tend to overpack for a sailing trip?
I think people tend to overpack clothes because unlike a cruise ship, there's no fancy night. There's no, black tie night. There's no themed anything. You might want to bring something nice to wear ashore, like a button up for the guys, like what I'm wearing now would be fine. Or ladies, you might want to have a sundress or a wrap, going to shore to a restaurant.
I've even seen just like a blouse and some capris or whatever.
Yeah. And so, but for some reason, and I get this whenever I'm going someplace new, I'm like, well, what if this happens? Or what if this situation comes up and I want to have a pair of shoes for hiking, and I want to have some water shoes in case we're, in a river or something, or, what if I want to go for a run? What if I should probably bring some flip-flops no matter what. And then, what if I want to go somewhere fancy? I should bring some dress shoes. 2 to 3 pairs tops should cover you for everything. But people tend to overpack shoes and clothes, which is one reason we provide a packing list.
And it can also be, I know for the ladies might be like, well, I'm going to Europe, so I really need to level up my style from my every day. If I'm going to take pictures of myself in Europe, I want to look European, and makes it, sometimes you pack more than you think. For me, the first time I went on a week-long sailing trip, even though I know I was out there not on a vacation, I was there to take a course and to be studying and practicing the whole time, I still imagined to myself that I was going to have, 15 hours a day to read. And I brought so many books. I know part of it was that I was leaving our 5 children behind, and I thought, oh, I'm going to have all this time for myself. And one, I did not have as much time as I thought. Two, I did not need to bring so many heavy, thick books. And three, my takeaway going forward is like a skinny book or a magazine is usually what I end up taking now because even then I probably won't really get into it. And I'm more likely that I'm going to be reading it on the airplane or at the airport than on my sailing trip because I'm either going to be exploring around, swimming, resting, talking to somebody else. So, yeah, I don't think that's the common thing to overpack, but if you're like me, you might overpack books.
I have to say, I fell into that trap on this last trip, and I brought 3 books: a business book, Les Miserables, and a novel. Les Miserables is a novel, but I like a contemporary novel. And it was a Kristen Hanna novel, and I read the entire Kristen Hanna novel and never once cracked open the other books. And so maybe the moral of the story is like, just bring one.
Yeah, know yourself. Don't be aspirational about it. And one of the things that Erik learned about taking Les Mis before is just like, it's a great book and he's reading it, but it is not like a light, quick, easy read. And so many things that are going on new around you, bringing something that's really dense or heavy isn't always a match. You're not always up for it. And then you're carrying that brick around. So, all right. What's something that you don't realize you love until you're living on the boat, even just for a week? And I would say for me, 2 things. One is just how separated you can be from the everyday world. I love being away from social media, news, just screens everywhere. The boat usually does have a TV on it, but I have never been on a trip where we even used it. Like there was plenty to see and do and think about to be engaged without ever having to transport ourselves somewhere else through a screen. And so that is something I love. And then the second thing I really love is sleeping on a boat. When I was a teenager, I had a queen size waterbed for a hot second. And I thought that was awesome. But once I got aboard a boat, I was like, this is the ideal sleeping experience for me. I know I'm not alone. Other people have found that as well, but it's just the right amount of lulling to sleep in these anchorages with a gentle roll of the sea beneath us. So I just have never slept better. Part of it is how comfortable it is at night, and part of it is getting up with the sun, being outside most of the time. The sun goes down, the temperature gets cool. It's like all of the external elements are telling my body, you are sleepy. And then I go to sleep at the right time when I'm sleepy, and I just get rocked to sleep by the ocean. So those are some of my favorites.
That is one of my favorites as well. And I will add that a lot of people are excited to sail on a sailboat, which makes perfect sense. And I do love sailing. In fact, on this most recent trip, the first day was one of our best days of sailing, and we got the boat up to 10 knots right out of the gate, the very first tack. And it was...
Just for context, I think on Fezziwig, our average speed over the course of the year was like 5 knots.
Yeah, 5 or 6 knots is a pretty good average speed. Going 10 knots is blazing fast. And I think when we lived on our boat, the fastest our boat ever went in the whole year was 14 knots. So to just like start out right at like primo speed downwind.
Okay, I was going to say, which way were you going? Because the wind feels like it's coming in your face. Then you really feel like you're speeding along. Whereas if you're going with the wind, it just doesn't feel like anything.
For you sailing nerds, it was a broad reach. And so we had the wind at our back, but still some coming over our shoulder. And it was just really lovely. All that to say, I love sailing just as much as the next crew member, but I love just as much, if not even more, being at anchor on a boat. Emily talked about sleeping, but there's also this beautiful time between arriving and dropping anchor and just spending these still hours on the boat. And oftentimes it's filled with making dinner and hanging out and playing games and playing music and just having conversations. But those kind of gentle, calm, peaceful hours at anchor before going to bed, the day is cooled off and, the sailing work is done for the day. it's just pleasant and it never gets old for me. And so, and then, it just leads right into that best part that Emily was talking about being rocked to sleep as the boat sort of gently moves at anchor.
Okay, so let's take a look at the boat, the Leopard 4500.
Yeah. So I did this walkthrough by myself because Emily wasn't able to join us on this trip. And so I'm going to do my best to sort of show you one-handed how things open and where they're located. But just for context, again, it's a Leopard 4500. This boat is built by a South African company called Robertson and Kane, and it's a custom model they make for a company called the Moorings. And so two charter companies use it, and the Moorings is the first. Anyway, it's a fantastic boat. I've sailed it a bunch of times. It's one of my favorite layouts. I mentioned some of that as I do the walkthrough, but I hope you enjoy it. And if you have any questions, you can put comments in the YouTube channel or on social media, and we'll do our best to respond. Or if you got something really specific, DM us.
Yeah, or I would say join our email list, and you can always just hit reply.
Yeah,
that's a really easy way to get a hold of us.
Go to the awesomefactory.nyc landing homepage, scroll all the way to the bottom, and there's a place where you can sign up for our email list.
And there's always a link in the show notes as well.
All right, here we go. So I'm going to try and do a boat tour here by myself of the Leopard 450 or 4500 rather. It's built by Robertson and Kane, and I'm with Sail Italia this week here in Procida, which is just off of Naples, Italy. So you come aboard with a passerelle, as they call it. We've got this outdoor dining area, which I love. One of my favorite features of this boat is this bench flips back, so you can sit here, and when the boat's underway, you can look off the back of the boat. Got a swim ladder down there. We've got swim shower for rinsing off after you swim right there. Coming around to the upper deck area, coming up these stairs here. Nice lounging sitting area up here. Also one of my favorite features of this model, and there's some great areas to just lay out. Some great areas just to lay out here. I also like to sleep outside here. So this is a beautiful spot. And from here you've got these windows that, if you pull the shades back, you can see right down into the salon area. A couple of solar panels to keep the batteries charged up. Here we've got the helm station coming around back down. So walking in here, here's the helm station. We'll come back to that. But beautiful kitchen layout. Quick tour of the kitchen, the galley. We've got 3-burner stove. We've got a nice little oven here. This looks like a second freezer, because we've got one freezer here and a fridge down here. Provisions are coming aboard as we speak. Garbage bin. And then one of my favorites, we have the storage compartments in the floor for groceries or luggage if we need it. Great way to put things out of way and easily accessible. And there's all storage in all these benches. Also, one of my cool features is this table folds out in fourths like so. And once it's fully open, you just rotate it 45 degrees and you have a nice squared up table. This table also drops down and converts into a big queen size bed, or maybe even a king size bed here. So lots of options to live comfortably aboard Leopard 4500. I love this boat. One of my favorite features is you've got this other boat, or this other door that takes you out to a nice little sitting area. out front here, which I really like. Get some little shade corners here, but plenty of nice seating. Little trampoline. Got the anchor in here. Got the generator in here. Water tanks under here. Nav desk here for all your navigation needs. Come down below on the port side. A nice rear cabin, window hatches, electrical outlets, fan. And on the way out, you can see the bathroom. A little toilet, electrical controls for the toilet, separate shower space, which is nice. Sink. People are always like, where's the toilet paper? Hide that under here so it doesn't get wet while you're in the shower. Lots of places to keep your personal belongings, a little toweling, privacy. You got a hatch for ventilation on the side and up, but you got a hatch for privacy when you're, or if you just want to keep the bugs out. You got two options. And the forward cabin, also lovely. Have window shades that come down to keep it cooler during the day. Privacy when you need it. Similar bathroom. Shower area. Toilet and everything. Sink. Oh, this one's got a double cabinet. Nice, 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 nice. And you got some cool air conditioning coming out right here. Locker to store your belongings. Excuse me. And you got some nice drawers down here. Some extra blankets in case it gets chilly at night. Another pillow here. So good options. At the helm station, you've got all your instruments up here. They've currently got their sun covers on them. Throttles here. You got your wheel ashtrays, which we won't be using. Power winches. Yeah, the furling line for the jib comes back here. It's this blue line. You follow it out there. Cuts down through the deck right here. Comes out all the way up to the foot of the jib. And all the lines lead back to the cockpit, so it's pretty easy to sail this boat from here. Got some bags there to catch the lines as they come in. Even the furling line for the jib comes back there.
So hopefully you enjoyed that tour. Erik valiantly doing a great job trying to video the whole thing all by himself. Again, that was the Robinson and Kane Leopard 4500 exclusive for the moorings, which is really cool, and we love to sail with them. What's one tip you would give someone who's seeing the boat for the first time, this model or any other model, when they come out to go on a sailing adventure?
I would say let yourself be delighted. It makes me really happy when people come aboard and they don't try and play it cool. They're like, oh my goodness, this is so fun. And they pull out their cameras and they're taking pictures, or they're doing a video to send to their family or friends, and they want to walk through and they want to see all the cabins. They want to see my cabin, which I'm happy to show people. And so just be willing to let yourself be delighted. Don't feel like you have to be too sophisticated or cool about it, and just enjoy it. And if it's new to you and you think it's fun, let that in.
Yeah, I think just taking a moment to say, like, wow, this is what I've been planning for, and now we're here, and just like taking that moment to be like, we've arrived here, and this is going to be my home for the next few days. I remember when my family moved when I was 10 years old. And even though we traveled all day and we got home when it was very dark and it was rainy and we were all exhausted, once we arrived to the house, just like a little burst of enthusiasm, woke us up enough that we ran all over, just like touring everything, opening all the doors, looking under the cabinets in the bathrooms, and just like we were like, oh, this is so cool, this is our home now, and we just wanted to see everything. And that is very natural and wonderful, and it will help you feel more comfortable throughout your week on the boat, because you will have touched everything and you'll kind of know where things are. That's actually one of the reasons we love to have you inventory the groceries when they come in, because you see, oh, these are going beneath our feet and these are going overhead and these are going under the bench seats. And then you feel like this sense of ownership because you know your way around and you're not afraid to open the cabinets and kick the tires.
You know where to find some snack pretzels when you want them.
Yeah, exactly. You feel a little independent. Okay, so what do you think? How do you think living on the boat changes people?
Well, I think being on a boat is very different than hanging out on land in some ways, because you get to spend lots of hours with people in succession. Even some of our closest friends, we might go out to dinner once or twice a month or have them over to our house occasionally. But you get to spend a block of time with people on a boat, and you have multiple conversations throughout the day. You're eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner around each other, if not with each other, and you're doing something together. And so I find that it creates for really fantastic friendships that seem like they're popping up quickly, but really the actual number of hours involved are just as many, if not more, than we often get on land with people that we feel close to. And so it really lends itself to making good friends, and also the unity that comes of doing something together. Moving a boat from place to place together inevitably, connects you.
For me, I think it's just slowing down. I recognize as the captain, it doesn't always feel like slowing down, and it might not feel like a more simple life, but yeah, just getting away from all the input and consumption of my everyday life, slowing down and taking time to think of like, what do I want more of? When I go on the boat, I always remember I want to be outside more. And that's something that I can always take back with me. It just feels amazing to just be outside, see how beautiful this world is, and let that just fill my heart. How about this? What do you hope someone feels after watching that tour?
I hope that it demystifies the experience, because lots of people come in with expectations, and I'll hear some people will look at a picture and they'll say, oh, those cabins are small and very simple. And like, there's just like, you get the bare bones basics. And some people are saying, oh my goodness, these boats are way nicer than I thought. And, both are great, valid responses. And really, I just want people to know what to expect. Of course, I want people to be delighted and really enjoy the boats. But I hope that it gives people confidence to say, okay, I know what it would look like where I'm going to sleep. I know I'm going to have a place to charge my phone. I'll have a reading light. I'll have a fan. I'll have a bed that's, big enough for me and whoever I'm sharing the cabin with.
A little closet to hang my clothes in, a cabinet for my toiletries, bookshelf.
Yeah, I mean, literally, when one of our kids moves to a new place, we just kind of like, give us a video tour of your house. We want to see where you are. It helps us feel like a sense of just connection with them. Like, okay, I know what your closets look like. I know what your cupboards look like, and I hope people feel connected, and I hope they feel less intimidated by stepping on a boat because they know better what to expect. That's really what I hope for.
Awesome. Well, hopefully all of those things come true for you. And if this sparked some questions, let us know. If it sparked some excitement and you want to start packing, we'd love to sail with you. And you can connect with us in any of the links with our show notes below. And until then, what could go right?
What could go right? Hey guys, it's Erik. Before we wrap up today, I want to go over the sailing update. For those of you that are interested in sailing with us, I want you to know what is available. So we do have a few spots left for 2025, and then we've also got a bunch of trips to announce for 2026. So buckle up, there's a few to run through here. Our Greece trip, which is happening in later July, is sold out. So that one is now no longer available. And our Croatia trip, I think, is also sold out. People have said they're going to send me deposits today as of this recording. So I think that one is sold out. If you're interested, check in with me. Just hit me a DM, send me a DM, or email me at eric@theawesomefactory.nyc, and we can let you know what's available there. However, we do have some cabins available for our October trip, Mexico, La Paz. Beautiful, one of my favorite places to go. You should listen to our podcast episode a couple back where we talk about why it's the most underrated, but most beautiful, one of the most beautiful trips we do. So October 20th through the 25th, we'll be in La Paz, Mexico. Then in November, we've got one spot in our BVI trip for a female spot, November 10th through the 15th. Again, I think that one's gonna fill up. There's lots of people looking at that. And December 8th through the 13th, we're in the Bahamas, 1.5 cabins, one full cabin plus a female spot. Again, we've got a few folks interested in that, but at the moment, as of this recording, those are available. So if you want to go sailing with us in 2025, those are your options. And now for 2026, if you need to look further out, here you go. British Virgin Islands, January 5th through the 10th. You'll fly in and out of St. Thomas. We're going to be back again a few weeks later, January 26th through the 31st. So 2 chances to sail in the BVI in January. Hopping over February to March, we're going to go to French Polynesia. It's an amazing place. I haven't been there since 2017, so a number of years. It's a fantastic trip. Not going to lie, it's by far the most expensive trip. It's going to be a one-way from an island called Raiatea out to Bora Bora. So you fly to Tahiti, get a hopper over to Raiatea. We're going to sail over to Bora Bora, and then we fly back from there home. So we're not going to be doing this one again for quite a while. So if you're interested in that, March 8th through the 14th, French Polynesia. We are back in the Bahamas, April 13th through the 18th. This time we're going to go to the Abacos, which is different than where we normally go. So it's going to be a pretty special trip, and I'm excited about that. That wraps up our spring. In the summer, we jump back over to the Med. In June, we're going to be back in Italy, Naples, repeating the trip that we did this year. So fun, so beautiful. June 6th through the 13th. Then in July 11th through the 18th, we will be in Greece. We'll sail in and out of Athens. And then in August 1st through the 8th, we're going to go to Croatia again. So, and then, not spoiler alert, but special bonus feature in September 26th, 2026, we're going to go to Italy for a second time, September 12th through the 19th. It's the shoulder season. All the kids are back in school. Most of the tourists have taken off, but the weather is still gorgeous. So there's 2 chances to go to Italy. BVI in January, French Polynesia in March, Bahamas in April, Italy in June, Greece in July, Croatia in August, and then Italy again in September. So if any of those are of interest to you, email us. I'll give the correct email. hello@theawesomefactory.nyc, theawesomefactory.nyc. And that way, me and the folks that help me out will see that. And we'll get you information, or if you want to ping me on social media, you can DM us and we'll get you details. But if any of those are interest, would love to see if having you aboard is a good fit. So that is the sailing update. Thanks. You were talking to somebody who's thinking about coming out. What might you
just do it? Yeah, it's fun. Oh, it's fun. Unexpected fun.
All right.
That's all I got.